Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Abraham Muhammad, Adrian Quintala, Alistair Main, Billy Highvault, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Erwin, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Jeranism, Kirsten Smith, Liam, Life is Short, Michael, Nagara, Naibai, Qatar Craig, Reinhardt, Renee, Sally Ballis, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock App, theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker and Tom Herkins. So thank you very much to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now we do have quite a few people in both Discord and G Plus Hangouts, as we are in between two live shows currently, so I'll raise the mic on all of them and you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for the next live show.
Too distracted by other shit.
I didn't say I didn't watch it. I said no comment.
Yes, I got 10 minutes. He apparently faked credentials to get her attention to do a serious interview.
Okay.
You talking about the astrophysicist Wakey Wakey chatted with?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I just saw it this morning. That's why I'm talking about it. But yeah, it was it was awesome. And yeah, he did quote you with the slightly looming non-standard refracting. It's great.
Slightly looming non-standard refraction high in a holographic projection of a clock, oil rig or the Chicago skyline from behind the reified edge of an Earth curve based on an R value and a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculator to turn an oil rig, Chicago skyline or clock into an oil rig, Chicago skyline or clock that isn't really there because it's behind an Earth curve reified from a model. We just say Chicago skyline, clock or oil rig because we're flat earthers.
Well said.
That could be a contender for the fastest flat earth explanation video.
I'd like to hear it with a double hyena.
With a double hyena?
Yeah, I'd like Nathan to do it instead of saying hyena, say double hyena. Just do it once with double hyena.
Slightly looming non-standard refraction double hyena. That's what you
There
want?
you go. There you go. That sounds better.
Didn't Rumpus forward the mega looming not too long ago?
No. Super mega looming.
Oh, right.
Would that be the Chinese plateau in the sky? You know, the Mirage, whatever video. The Chinese city in the sky, is that the super mega looming?
Possible. If you ask Rumpus, he might agree.
There's a Chinese city in the sky? Do tell.
You've never seen that video?
No.
It's like a Chinese city sitting on top of the clouds. It's very murky skies, you know, it's that Asian typhoon kind of skies going on. And it looks like a city in the clouds.
I have a theory about that. They probably projected it onto that as its stunt.
Happens all the time.
No.
Yeah, you just have to see something a bit further away than a heliocentric religious model says, and suddenly it becomes a slightly looming non-standard refraction high in a holographic projection.
Now, in this case, that city really was above everyone.
I realise that. It was in the clouds. I get that. But by their definitions, you know, that's preposterous, right? That the sky actually had a cityscape in it. Obviously not. For whatever reason, trick photography or projection or whatever you want to claim, there's nobody living on a sky city. But apparently all the things we see that we shouldn't see because a model says it shouldn't be there are actually the same thing, i.e. projections, holograms, mirages. They give the same explanation, right? But just because there's a globe in their mind that needs justification for when we see things that they say we shouldn't see, even though we've got a picture of them.
Well, maybe that's where all the servers are for the cloud computing.
Nathan, I don't know if you know it,
Boom,
but
boom.
it looks like your live stream's down.
No, it's just not up yet. I will start live again in a second.
Okay, I just want to make sure you knew about it.
Yeah, we will go live in a couple of minutes. I'm just waiting for the baby to calm down enough for me to do an intro.
How was the baby?
Yeah, it's just climbing all over me. I might just have to decide that whatever position she's in will satisfy so long as she's not making a load of noise.
Just do a baby intro, man. People will love it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Better with babies.
Okay then.
We'll give it a go. We'll see how we get on.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. Now we are joined by Righteous Force, Paul, Quantum Eraser, Jibby Jedi, Chocolate Saiyan, Arwin and 10th Man in G+, and we're also joined by a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Hello. Don't forget the one joining you on your chest.
We've also got Ranty. Sorry,
Hello.
forgot all about him.
I thought you was going to ignore me, didn't I?
Sorry, Ranty.
Sorry,
Our
man.
most distinguished
It's been a
guest.
while, brother.
Our most distinguished guest of all. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. I give you Ranty Flat Earth.
Hey. Thanks for the intro.
Yeah!
How is everybody anyway? How is everybody doing?
Right, can someone else do housekeeping for me?
Oh, come on now. I want to know
Yeah,
how you're doing first.
I can take it if you like.
Perfect. 10th Man, you take over. So it's too noisy
right.
here.
Any signs of Earth curvature?
Yeah.
No signs of Earth curvature. However, there are 8 ballers in Discord right now. So perk up your ears, gentlemen, ladies. I'd like to hear some baller answers.
Let me address this to Discord directly. Okay. 8 ballers in Discord. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Yeah.
All righty. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nope.
Nope.
Discord?
I think Menace to Sobriety had something to say about that.
All right, speak up. Three, two, one. All right. Any scientific evidence for gravity?
Yeah. No. What is it?
What did they say it is, Armin?
I don't know. They seem to be very
Are you
divided.
talking about
They say it's the bending of a
theory of
conceptual
gravity
medium.
or the law of gravity?
Well, I asked Armin
Well,
a
we got a
question.
baller.
It sounded like Chocolate talked and Highlander gave the topic.
Or maybe Highlander knows a little bit more than me about it.
Go ahead, Highlander.
I was just asking what gravity you were asking about, that's all.
Well, which one? How many do you have?
But are you talking about the law of gravity?
There is no
And
law of
what's
gravity.
the other one?
It's debunked by a helium balloon. That's not a law.
Any form of gravity.
Hang on, before we tear it
If it's a
apart, how
law,
many?
then it can't be debunked, then can it? If it's a law.
Yeah, and if it has been debunked, it isn't a law. So, not
Right.
a law.
Yeah, it's a law in the Newtonian setting. It's not a natural law. It's not the same kind.
It's more like up there with look both ways for crossing the street before you get a jaywalking ticket. It's that type of law, as opposed to a natural law.
So more like a policy.
So Highlander,
A
what's the
guideline.
other one? Highlander, you made it sound like there was more than one gravity. What's the other one?
Sorry, I've got a real bad cough. Einstein's explanation for gravity.
And would you do us a favor and tell us what that is?
Well, sorry. You
No,
you
go ahead,
already
talk.
know what it is. You say it every day on the show.
He's asking
No,
you
no,
because you've brought it up.
Thank you.
Maybe you need
Clarify
a bit of.
terms.
Do you need a bit of leading, 10th man? Maybe you could tell us the name of the geometry for Einstein's gravity.
Pseudo-Riemannian force space.
Not you, 10th man. God.
Shut up.
You're asking the questions.
He was coughing. I was helping him out.
Yeah, maybe he just needs a spoon of
Yeah,
honey.
I do apologise. I don't think Nathan wants me coughing all over his show.
Definitely not. Thank you.
Somebody get him a
Sorry.
spoon of honey.
Only if you're spewing
Spoonful of
out the
flat Earth
facts.
will help the medicine go down.
Nice. All right.
Cigarettes are a cough suppressant. True story.
Any evidence of self-perpetuating molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Well, if it's presupposed, that would mean it doesn't actually exist until proven. So no.
Hey, I have actually something interesting to add to that specific concept, the molten iron core, because I've spent a lot of my time in my life watching Star Trek episodes and science fiction things in general, right? So
Arwen, before you go, just give us an answer. Is there or there isn't before you get conceptual?
no, but it's relevant.
I'm glad you said it with some empathy.
Right, of course there's no. But the thing is that I've never seen any kind of attention really spent to the concept of a supposed molten iron core at M-class planets, as they call it, which are suitable for life like Earth. Never really spent a lot of time with it. There is more time spent on stars, their inner content, what's supposedly happening over there, and black holes and wormholes, but very little attention spent to the concept of a molten core of any kind of M-class planet. Even though there is always tectonic activities, earthquakes, they do add that, but never attention to a molten iron core. Never.
So you're saying that in the pseudo scripts of Star Trek and other space movies, they don't pay attention to molten iron core?
No, other than literally in their school system, pointing it out on a graph? No. Funnily enough.
Well, no, there's been episodes where planets are in distress because their core is erupting and the planet's about to explode and they have to evacuate the people off the planet. So they do address the cores of these M-class planets on occasion.
No, but
Thank you. Thank you for getting to the core of the subject. Can we
No,
move on?
but not really. It's a plot device. They never spend anything technical to it. It's a plot device, like you said. Oh,
Because it's bullshit.
It's gonna explode because the core. That's literally the setup for such an episode. They don't spend attention to why
The
or how.
most they would add to it would say that the sun in that solar system is the cause of the core's destabilization, but they don't. That's about as much detail as they get in.
Right, like it gives some kind of special radiation or whatever, and yeah,
All right. Can we get
that's
out of
usually what
Narnia?
they try to pull with that. Yeah.
Let's get out of Narnia. Any evidence for the distance of the sun?
Absolutely not.
Discord? Actual, apparent, Discord, anything? All right.
I have something to bring up. I have something to bring up about the molten iron core. If you want to just go back on that.
Oh yes,
Sure, go
definitely.
ahead.
Yes,
Go ahead,
please.
Francis.
Okay. So, if you guys are aware of the fracking that goes on.
Right.
No swearing.
So in the UK, it's all fracking has been ceased now for the time being, at least. And there was an article as to why. I'll read you a part of that article now. It says, asked on BBC Radio 4 Today programme why that was, Mrs. Leadsom said shale gas is a huge opportunity for the UK. We will follow the science, and it is quite clear that we can't be certain. The science isn't accurate enough to be able to assess the fault lines. The geological studies have been shown to be inaccurate. Well. So geological studies, science, all wrong about these fault lines and how things are made up just from fracking. Who would have thought? Because when we bring up the borehole, we're told that with the borehole, the issue with that is that it was in the 1970s. And that technology has improved since then, and now they're much able. They have more technology. They're able to see what's going down in these layers. Conspiracy cats is a big one on this. Well, they can't even get it right for shale, for fracking, which is apparently, if you're going to be looking for an industry to invest in, that's huge. So if they can't even get it right for that, guys.
I'm sorry, where was the science in that? I missed that part.
Fracking
Other than the
boreholes.
It says, we will follow the science, and it is quite clear that we can't be certain. The science isn't accurate enough to be able to assess the fault lines. The geological studies have been shown to be inaccurate. In other words, everything they expected to find when they dug down the layers weren't as they expected to find them. And that's why there was earthquakes
They
caused
missed the
by
point
this
he's
fracking.
asking about, Grunty.
Yeah,
So,
you kind of got the point.
yeah, you've missed his point. So he's saying, where's the science? Because they put the magic word in of science only to go on to say geological studies, which aren't science. So they use the magic word, but then they don't back it with any science.
No, worse than that, they even blame it. It's because of the science is bad.
I mean, it's quite clear that they basically, have thrown science and geological studies under the bus with why they've had to cancel this fracking, because it's a huge humiliation for the UK. We took on this industry because it's near where I live, actually, and I actually felt the 2.9 earthquake when it went off. So, it was a fair distance away. It was a good 8 to 10 miles away when this earthquake happened, and I felt it. Anyway, so they cancelled that. But it's been a huge embarrassment for the UK and for the government, because they were fully behind this. All the people that were going out with the placards saying this industry's dangerous, you don't know what you're doing. They were saying, no, the science says it's good. The science says it's fine. When they got the latest 2.9, then they had to stop it. And now they're blaming science and blaming geological studies for being inaccurate.
What does science, when you throw it under the bus, what does it look like?
Like a squashed egg.
Like a flat globe.
And when science is saying, does science have lips or vocal cords?
Absolutely. They are legion.
Well, that's just another one to add to the borehole. For this, geological studies can show, what the makeup of the Earth is, because clearly they haven't got the foggiest idea.
Fracking boreholes.
It's worse. Fracking is terrible, in my personal opinion. Not just because they're screwing with the ground, but because they're actually injecting freaking poison in it.
So now they're screwing the ground, fracking boreholes.
Hey, Brian.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Brian. Anything you want to say, Brian, before we move on to the next housekeeping question?
Move on.
I only just came in there right now, so.
All right, no problem. Any evidence of radius of the Earth, the R value?
No.
The radius of what?
Presupposition of Earth radius. No evidence
Discord.
of R. It's just a presupposition.
Does any ballers in Discord want to come out on that one, since you say this?
Did Adam get arrested?
Yes, he did.
Okay, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without
One
the
second.
necessary? Yes.
Man, before you go further, would this be a good time to bring up the equator thing?
No, we're in the housekeeping questions.
Yeah, kind of. It's distance to the sun related, but 10th man's running the housekeeping, so it's up to him. But it's kind of distance to the sun related, correct?
I could go either way. We only got 2 questions left.
No R value.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Well, for them to prove, if they proved R of 24,840 miles, like for the equator to be that size, the radius has to be around 4,000 miles. But a straight line distance from the North Pole to Libreville, which is just north of the equator, at about 6,000 plus miles, means there's 2,000 miles of a discrepancy there. So we can't have an equator that is 24,840 miles in circumference. It's not possible. The only way to have that is that way for on a globe. It's impossible.
It's the other way around. It must be that way to be a globe. Therefore, it is that measurement. So it's the other way around.
Exactly. Yeah. The only way for us to have that measurement as an equator is to actually be on a globe.
Explain it again. Reiterate your 2,000 mile discrepancy.
But if you do a straight line measurement from the North Pole to Libreville, and Libreville I think is like 46 or 40 kilometers north of the equator line, it comes out at just over 6,000 miles. Now, on their model of their globe, their radius of the globe is around 4,000. So the only way that their model can, like the only way there can be an equator measurement of 24,900 miles is if we're on a globe. Because what they do is they stretch the distance around the globe. That's what they've been doing.
Are you trying to say if we're on the smaller globe in there's?
No, it's just their globe. It's like they stretch the distance. Like for us, it's a straight line distance from the North Pole to Libreville. A straight line.
Okay,
6,000.
hold on a second. You said North Pole, right? Are you saying magnetic north or true north?
Just whatever. I'm only going by whatever.
You better get specific because those are 2 drastically different concepts.
Yes, there is a difference in those 2, but I'm just going by a basic measurement on.
Well, you got to know where you're measuring from. Are you measuring from magnetic north or there? I understand we're in their fairy tale paradigm, but you got to be correct in their fairy tale paradigm. So, are you measuring from magnetic north or true north?
I'm not sure which one because I'm getting the measurements on.
Then you can't make that claim until you find that out. You can't make that claim. Right.
Well, I can make the claim that we can't have an equator of 24,840 miles.
Yeah, but not using those premises. You can't.
Well,
okay, Brian.
How can you have a straight line distance? Brian, 1 second, man. How can you have a straight line distance to Libreville of 6,000?
You have to know where you start to compute a straight line distance.
But their measurement of the straight line, their measurement of 1 second, their measurement of the radius of their globe is starting at the same place. as the measurement.
What
that
place?
they're going. Sorry,
What place?
I would say they're starting at true north.
You would
Because
say?
Did he say measurement of
because I would no, actually it is true north. It is true north. They're using true north. That's what it is. It is.
Oh,
I know now from other calculations I did. It is true north. Not magnetic
What
north.
source did you go to get this?
Just online. Just there's distance.to and there's other ones, there's time and date and that. But it is true north because if you measure 69 degrees by 90 times, you get 6,210, and that's just over the measurement from what they're saying the North Pole is to Libreville.
Why don't you go
and
ahead?
Libreville is just north of the equator.
Just go ahead. Show us that when you get a chance, get on Google Earth or whatever and show it.
What do you want me to show?
This is what I told you earlier, Brian. Put it together and let's present it to QE. Remember?
Well, I have stuff I've put together. I'm going to bring it out as a presentation about.
It's not only for me; it's for everyone in the audience, so they can understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, basically, basics of it. Anyone can check
I already
the
know
radius
the
of the globe.
No. Brian, when can you show it? When can you show it, Brian?
I'll have to look. I can't show it right now today. I'll have to get a bit of a presentation together. I can bring the presentation forward, a shorter version of it onto Nathan
Brian,
if you want.
it's no problem, man. We
Next
got a
week.
weekend. Just do it up during the weekend, and we'll talk about it Monday or something. That's cool.
Presentation only take less than 2 minutes.
Say that again, QE.
It would only take less than 2 minutes to show this. Yeah, a straight line. Oh my God! Go ahead.
No. I was just asking. Do you want just the basics on that? Just those 3 or 4 measurements. Just
Just the basics. You measure from point. Here is point A. Here is point B. Here's the distance measurement. Presentation over.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Sometime next week, Brian. Will that work?
Well, I could go and have a look at it now. Is there a second show today? I don't know.
We're live.
Yeah,
But
don't
is
worry
there
about
another
it.
show
Just
after
come
this?
on. Whenever you have it, come on. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, okay.
Perfect. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of the container to press upon?
No.
Discord? Guess not. All right, let's round it out. Can anyone present a single viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history of either astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? Who's eating candy?
That was me, sorry.
Island.
Silence, Legolas.
I love it. All right.
No, I don't think so.
So no viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history?
No,
Astronomy, cosmology, astrophysics?
computers. They just use the computers. Remember?
So are they devoid of the scientific method in those fields?
Yeah, I think so. Admittedly so.
Scientific method. Leaps of logic. Skin of our pants. It's guesswork. Yeah, all right.
That concludes the House leading questions.
My colleagues, we don't use.
Exactly.
Something up with your, is there something, hold on,
under-
sorry, 1 sec, 10th man. Is there something up with your audio, QE? You keep cutting out.
No, he did that on purpose.
Oh.
No, I'm not cutting out. People over talking me.
He was playing the part of the Michio Kaku where he wanted to say we don't understand or they don't understand, but he never said understand, and then he switched over.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, we don't understand we don't use the scientific method, although I've elaborated.
And we keep getting told we don't understand. Apparently, they don't understand.
Now, he was probably going a middle road in deciding to say the standard argument, you don't understand, but then he realized, wait, I'm actually being interviewed by a non-flat earther. So he then proceeded to do the other thing. But he was going to accuse the other of saying, oh, you just don't understand.
No, he wasn't. He was literally saying his field of expertise, astrophysicists, don't understand the scientific method. But then he self-corrected and said, don't use.
But that must... But that wouldn't make any sense.
The greatest part is he said, nobody that I know of in my field.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, thanks for throwing your entire field under the bus. Thanks.
What would that look like?
We're not going to
nothing.
get that.
They don't have a field. So
we're not going to get a conceptualization.
Just a regular bus driver on the street.
We're not going to get a conceptualization of a reification of what science would look like when squashed by a metaphor of it being run over. You know what I mean?
Well, you could have a flat universe confined in a two-dimensional space in between the bus and the ground, but it would still be conceptual, though.
Oh, I know, man. You can do your help with that. Pseudo McWestian 2 space. That's what you need.
Hey, I have a question, guys, because obviously I've not heard you guys for a couple of weeks, but InfoWars put a video out recently about Flat Earth. Have you discussed that on the show?
Yeah, we did. A little bit, yep.
Do you know what I found interesting as well about that is that there was a couple of images on there that they used of my photography, but what was interesting was that one of these images isn't a very well-known image. It's kind of obscure and something that I've not used for about 3 months. So clearly they've been saving imagery and they're following the debates for sure, because I don't think I ever put that video or part of that video out on my own channel. It was where I went into the middle of the road and photographed the lampposts down the road. And that image was only shown maybe 3 or 4 times in total. And the last time was about 3 months ago. So it definitely shows that they've been following and taking notes. What do you think, Guy?
Or maybe somebody mirrored those footages of yours from the show.
Are you gonna copyright strike him?
No, not at all. No, but no, it wasn't. When I saw those 2 images pop up, I went, "Holy shit, they're mine!" I thought, yes, next one. But then when I thought about it, I thought, well, why are they using images that are very obscure images of mine and not more of the more recognizable ones? You know, and things that haven't been shown for such a long time. Just made a little bit of no sense kind of thing, because unless they're actually following the debates, you know, and following this, or somebody is. There's definitely somebody looking in.
I think they wanted to use your material because it's excellent, but they didn't want to use your prime material as to not draw in copyright strike-like attention, because they don't really know what's going to happen. So that seems the logical reason to do it.
Ranty,
Well,
I think
wouldn't
the
copyright
point you're
strike
trying to
them
make,
anyway,
if I'm
if they're
not
listening.
mistaken, is that they've archived everything, and this was something you used not too much, and all of a sudden you saw it, so it makes you think that they're archiving everything.
Yes, yeah. There's definitely people following, paying attention, and taking imagery, and thinking, yeah, this is what, you know, we're understanding what they're saying, and this is a good example of that. As I say, this was about perspective, and the perspective view that they used, the lampposts down the promenade. I have a better one probably when I took it on the way to Southport, an image of the lampposts on the way down there. There's probably a better image, but they used this more obscure image to show the same thing, which I found quite amusing actually. And then they used the was it? I can't remember what boat it was now. There was another boat. I think it was the one that I did on the 24th of December of last year. So it was like hidden boat or something. Sneak boat. That was what it was called. Sneak boat. So they used an image from Sneak boat as well. And so yeah, definitely old footage.
They didn't use the Stena line, did they?
No, it wasn't the
They didn't
Stena
use
line
that
one. No.
They might be saving that one because
Hold on.
I mean, if they saw that one,
hold on, Chocolate. Sorry, you'll have to
Yeah,
remind people
yeah.
what Sneak Boat is. Sorry for all my background noise.
So Sneak boat, I was down on the steps by the promenade and I'm filming Barrow in Furnace and I was doing a time lapse. So I'd been filming for perhaps an hour or so. It was bitterly cold, freezing. Filmed looking at Barrow the whole time. Saw the inferior mirage go higher and higher and higher. And then when I actually finished up packing away and climbed up the steps, I looked back at Barrow in Furnace and I saw that there was a tanker that had gone past my viewing between me and Barrow in Furnace, and I hadn't seen it. It had all been hidden behind the inferior mirage. So this boat sneaked in across and up the estuary without me even seeing it. And I was filming it the entire time. So obviously I immediately started recording again and then went up and down the steps to show you how the inferior mirage was blocking this boat out completely. And I got the distances. The boat was only 7 miles away. And a viewer height of about 8 feet, you couldn't see any of this boat. You know, you're talking a tanker, it was about 80 feet tall. You know, the boat was only 7 miles away. You couldn't see it behind an inferior mirage. And this is why I called it Sneak boat, because it sneaked in without me seeing it. It's actually the one as well where there's another boat in the foreground, and you can clearly see two boats with an inferior mirage on each. And when you actually put the lines across, you realize they're in a different position, which proves that it's an angle as opposed to a physical Earth curvature, which is what the globe used to say it was.
I like the shark boat.
Shark boat was cool.
Sneak Boat was the best though because it was a surprise, right? You didn't know what was coming, and then it was a shock when it went in front or behind. I forget which.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't even know there was a boat there. That's the whole thing. That's why I called it Sneak boat, because I was filming Barrow in Furnace and I was showing how the inferior mirage was, as the tide was coming in, the inferior mirage was just enveloping the mountain in the background. And then when I actually climbed up the steps and looked back, I could see this boat had clearly moved in front of my position where I was filming Barrow in Furnace. This 80-foot boat that's 7 miles away that obviously you should see even on a globe. There's no way that there's enough curvature at that distance, but it was completely hidden. I never saw it. Never once did I see it. I was filming in 4K. The boat was never there. And obviously then I did some tests going up and down the steps to show how this inferior mirage was capable of hiding an entire boat at distances that you should be able to see it on either model. And it completely disproved their claim that the inferior mirage was Earth curvature, and it sort of like validated all my work up to then that was saying that the inferior mirage hides things from the bottom up and can hide physical objects at long distances. And this was just a great proof of that.
Ranty, just a follow-up question. What kind of day was it that the inferior mirage hid something 7 miles, and have you experienced other days where the inferior mirage hid something that was further out?
Yeah, all the time. All this year, for instance, I've been looking at Barrow in Furnace. I've always got that inferior mirage there. It's very rare that I can see the buildings of Barrow from a distance of anything greater than 20 miles away. It's really, really, really difficult because this inferior mirage just hides stuff. It repeats it takes an image of the sky above it or the mountain and repeats it underneath it, and it forms in the atmosphere, and it causes a physical blockage. You can't see things that are hidden behind it. And this, as I say, on the 24th of December, this was a great demonstration of that in actually happening in front of my own eyes. And then I actually did another video to show that this is the incremental steps up and down to show this. I think the temperature was about 5 degrees because it was December the 24th. I actually had flu that day. and it was bitterly cold. So I think
just for
it was
clarity,
about 5
just for
degrees.
clarity, from the place you were filming to the furnace, how many miles?
Oh, right. So from where I was filming to Barrow Furnace was 18 miles away. The boat traversed in front of my view at a distance of 7 miles away.
Okay, so
and I didn't see
18, so 18 miles away, and then the boat was 7 miles or just a little bit past, and you didn't see it
Yep.
till you moved to higher ground.
Yep.
And then on other times you filmed, I guess this is the point I'm trying to make, that inferior mirage isn't always at that 7 mile mark. It could move, correct?
Oh, yeah. It's all dependent. Sometimes it can be higher, sometimes it can be lower, sometimes it can be a very thin inferior mirage, which means you see more of the bit of the distant land that you're trying to see, or the boat. Other times the inferior mirage is really thick. And I've got plenty of imagery on my channel that shows all the different sizes that you get of these inferior mirage. And do I know what causes it? No. I just know that it's not in the atmosphere. It's not Earth curvature. It has to be in the atmosphere. That's what my research has shown. But do I know what causes it? No. I just know that it blocks things out.
Simple deduction would tell you that, because if on this day it was 7 miles away, and on other days it's say 12 miles away, the Earth, if the Earth was curved, it doesn't change its curve from 7 to 12, does it?
Yeah. No, but there's also other things in this particular footage that demonstrates that. There's another boat nearer, and you can see that the inferior mirage on that is lower in the imagery as opposed to the inferior mirage of the boat behind it, which is higher up in the imagery. So you can definitely see that it's a gradient as opposed to a physical, edge of the sphere kind of thing. So that kind of debunks that notion there. And then it's a great image. I think, Nathan, you've got it with the two boats.
My apologies if you had a few drop frames in the live stream. I don't know why that's happened, but hopefully it'll resolve itself shortly.
Yeah, so yeah, going back to the original question, which was about this InfoWars thing. Have you guys discussed it? Because I haven't heard your opinion on it.
It seemed very, if I'm honest, very 2015, talking about Admiral Byrd and things.
I don't necessarily agree. They really showed that they have dug into the material and understand the complexities and issues that are kind of going on. So it wasn't really.
I would kind of agree with Nathan. It was kind of 2015, but it kind of needs to be, because look at the audience we're talking about. It's InfoWars. Alex Jones and all these guys, they just started talking about this. This is brand new for them. So it doesn't really surprise me that, they've gone kind of back to the roots, Admiral Byrd and all that. But I mean, for InfoWars and the audience that's watching that, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. That's, a starting point. And, a lot of us, I mean, if you realize this and you jump right into it, you're gonna run into that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just a lot of it's circumstantial, right?
I was surprised at how good it was too.
Yeah, when they
But real quick here too, before we get away from Randy and his pictures, I just want to point out the fact that this show really got its feet under itself in the beginning with Ranty and Ranty's images and the investigation and detailing of everything. It really gave the show legs to stand on, and then on top of that, also Quantum Eraser just killing it on the actual science aspect. Shout out to both of you. Over.
Are we forgetting about the Saint of Anthony, patron saint of Sleeping Warrior? My God, so quickly we forget.
No, I just wasn't trying to take up too much airtime. Sorry. Shout out to Sleeping Warrior and Arwen too. The constant presence of the major panelists has been paramount in the success of the show, and being able to stave off
the overwhelming baller majority that the show began with. Over.
It's all
I
good. I was only
concur.
half joking, but yeah, Sleeping Warrior kind of, I would say, was a precursor to Ranty. So, you know, him and Sleeping Warrior together obviously went off initially before the debate existed to get Blackwall Tower. And then from there, it was more Isle of Man that kicked off the debate about the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective, hijack and Kirk calculator. But then we figured that out with Ranty's images, but we argued about them before we figured them out with Sleeping Warrior's images. So we were begging the question with Sleeping Warrior stuff and then figuring it out with Ranty's.
Yeah, it was a team effort, to be fair, and I have to also commend the Globers for actually coming around and sticking around with us at the beginning, because without their bullshit, we wouldn't have progressed as quickly as we did. So it was nice to have them keep coming back and making them fools of themselves, so that we could just disprove all their rhetoric.
And you had to eat your words on Ireland too, which, you know, I commend you for. Absolutely, you know. I think it's great. You know, it definitely shows honesty, and they're admirable traits.
If we're wrong, we'll put our hands up. Simple as that. What we've realised is that, you know, even though the Globers say that with a big enough camera and a big enough zoom, you could see your own arse in a telescope, we also realise that that's just never going to happen on any model, because there is a limit to how far you can see through the atmosphere. So, you know, it just so happened that the Isle of Man and then Ireland led us on a path of angular size, and the realisation that, you know, trying to see a relatively low landmass at a distance of about 120 miles, you know, is pretty nigh on impossible from ground level, just due to its angular size. So all the mistakes that we made kind of helped us understand more going forward. So it was a win-win.
Yeah, one of the first things I remember hearing when I turned to the show was Nathan telling somebody like, that's a lighthouse. We see it because it's there. You're saying that there's all this other nonsense that we have to deal with, and all this reasons and excuses, and we just see it. It's there. And that's why I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. Yep, I like the show.
Well, there's some in Discord, right? So why are they coming on the show now and saying their piece?
Maybe they just like listening to us speculate and just snicker in the background and until they're ready.
Why would you join a show, go on mute for the whole show, and have the opposite viewpoint of the show and never say anything?
Yeah, we got a lot of.
I agree. I tried to get them
mainly in the chat. Frigging neutrino lover, this Fermi Lab idiot that doesn't even know what a hypothesis is. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, but will never, ever come on this show because his spine is the same color as this yellow icon I see. Clown.
Yeah, my prompting of neutrinos being addressed was from that gentleman right there. He seemed to be all high and mighty on them.
He doesn't even know what a hypothesis is. He's a pretender clown. I've drug him around by the short hairs so many times. It's friggin' unbelievable. He posts a picture of his Fermi Lab badge, right? I got your badge right here.
Is that a real lab? Fermi Lab?
Yes, time for breakfast.
So he works at a firmament lab, and he's a Glober. Well, if you're chatting in Discord, just come live and make it audio so we can have some back and forth.
Bear your pain.
Well, there might not be room in here though, because we have all these stationary Glovers.
Say that again. Stationary Globers.
Stationary Glovers. I like that.
Yep. They ought to just be kicked out if they're not going to chat.
You mean geocentrist?
I gotta go, guys.
Nice.
Battery's dying.
All right,
Thanks,
Ranty,
Ranty.
get
It's lovely
that.
having you. Good to speak to you.
All right,
Yeah, good
Ranty.
to see everybody's still at it. See you again.
Later.
See you later, Ranty.
See you, Ranty.
Later, Ranty.
Highlander, you still there?
Leave Highlander alone. He's got a bad throat today.
Yeah.
Well, just checking to see how he was.
Because we're nice like that, right? You all right, Highlander?
Yeah. The one with the bad throat is the only one that actually spoke.
You got the. Oh, I'm sorry. You did have the blind sniper in there.
Oh, did he go?
The pants.
I love the pants line.
He's in the after show. I could just drag him back up.
Yeah, I want to know how.
Drag him back up.
All right, he's here.
All right, blind sniper. We want you to explain to us how you can leave your pants and not change them. Okay?
Explain what? Explain what? Hello?
You made a claim earlier this week that you can take off your pants or change your pants, right? And not leave them.
Why are y'all focused on pants?
Because we were talking about reference frames, and you decided to give an example using your pants. So yeah,
So you're focused on pants.
we're focused on the
We're
silliness
delving
that
into
you
the
said
psychology
regarding
of
your
stationary
pants.
baller.
We don't care about your pants, actually. It's just the
So
funniness
why
that
y'all
you
asking
said
me about my pants?
regarding your pants.
Why the hell are y'all asking me about my pants?
This is gonna be funny. Do you have amnesia?
Can we
No,
play
I'm
the
asking
call?
you why you asking me about my pants. Why y'all so focused on the pants?
For November.
I think he's retarded.
The blind sniper for November 2019.
Okay, I changed pants
you're
and not.
Blind sniper for November 2019.
I could change pants and not leave them.
Who is this idiot?
Change pants and not leave the pants that you're in?
The blind sniper for November 2019.
I could
So
change
you're
pants. Basically, just calling me on the show so that way you can mute me later. Because that's all y'all do. Every time I'm on the show, you mute me. You complain about being funny,
but you're talking right now.
and then you mute
You're
me.
talking right now. You're not muted. You can speak. We can
Yeah,
hear you.
I'm muted now, but every other time I was on the show, I get muted.
So do
But
you
you're
have
not-
anything to say or just complaining about how you get muted?
So what's the problem with the pants? Like, why are y'all so focused on the pants?
We were
He-
talking about
Oh.
reference frames, and you brought up pants. What was the connection you were trying to make?
I was the point of that was change and leave are two different things. That was the only point. Why are y'all so focused on the pants?
How does that relate to reference frames?
How can you leave your
Because they
pants
were
and
talking
not
about
change them?
changing and
Or how can you
leaving.
change your pants and not leave them? That's the question.
Why are you focused on the pants? The whole point was the
Because
difference.
you
between change and leave.
You brought it up, you retard.
You said
Are
it.
y'all retarded?
We just
Because I'm
heard it.
asking you a question.
Oh
All
my
right, he
God.
concisely explained
pants,
his
not
position
leave.
there. So
Why are you focused on pants when the whole argument was that there was a difference between change and leave?
Because you brought it up. You said
So
you
you're
could
focused
change
on the pants
and
instead of
not-
the whole
Shut
point of the
up.
argument, which was
Shut
there was a
up.
difference between change and leave.
Shut
You want to
up.
focus on
You
pants.
just heard what you said.
So
Why
you
are we-
left your
Oh
pants?
my
Where did you
God.
leave them? Where did you leave your pants?
Okay. No sense in me trying to
When?
fucking talk
What
here.
day? Since you're focused on my pants, go ahead and ask a question about my pants.
We don't really care about your pants, buddy. You brought it up.
Then stop asking me about my pants.
No,
What
we're
the
not.
hell?
You brought it
That
up.
don't make no sense. You're not
We have
making
no
no
more
sense. You're focused
questions
on
No
about
pants,
the pants.
then you're
Can we
not focused on
change
pants, and then you're
the
asking me
subject?
about pants.
hey, can you explain in Coriolis or detail Coriolis effect?
Okay, I
about
got
it?
one question about your pants. Are they fancy?
No, I don't wear fancy pants.
All right, let's get this more to what he was trying to say. We were talking about reference frames, and you brought up the pants. I want to know what your connection was to the reference frames with your pants.
I just told you there was a difference between change and leave. That was it. I mean, I just explained that like 3 times.
When you change your pants, are they still on you?
No, but I could put them on my shoulder and they're still on me.
But you didn't say that till the end of that argument the other week.
But I also
So-
said that same day.
No, what I'm trying to say is this malformed connection you're making here. If you get out of your pants,
No, what
you're
I'm
no longer
saying
in them.
is what I'm saying is there's a difference between change and leave.
There isn't. There isn't. You can't change your pants and not leave them.
You
Right?
can leave them and
Why
not
not?
change them,
I can
though.
carry them around with me anywhere I want to without having them on. I can still change my
You have
pants and
grown
still
up-
carry
Can
them
you-
around.
is that what's happening with the Coriolis?
Can you carry around a reference frame when
Perfect.
once you leave it?
Perfect chocolate.
Thank you,
perfect.
chocolate.
You don't
Yeah,
leave,
did you put the
don't leave a
reference frame on your shoulder?
Yeah, hold on. Let him answer Chocolate's question.
You don't leave reference.
His question was, can you chuck a reference frame over your shoulder? Because that's what the context was when you compared it to pants.
Well, it's a coordinate point. It's not a physical thing.
So that would be a bad analogy then, right?
That's a very dumb question.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So we're all clear then. The pants analogy was crap, and that's why it got brought up.
No, it was just to show a difference between change and leave. Y'all are
There
too focused
is
on
no
the pants.
Try
There
again.
is no
Put,
clown.
put your dirty pants
Get the pants out your
in the
mind.
washing
Get the pants
machine
out your
and
mind.
drop this argument.
Leave the pants behind.
You can't
Don't focus
change
on
your
pants.
pants and not leave them. You can't leave your pants and not change them. This is friggin' incoherent second grade globetard nonsense. That's the point.
I'm going to try, hopefully, to round out without too much baby noise. We'll see how I get on. So with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the people who joined us in both Discord and G+ panels for making this live show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the live stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Stay tuned if you are watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, as there will be an after show to follow. But unfortunately, if you're watching us live on the Nathan Oakley channel, this is where we bid you farewell. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Oh, hey, looks like you got a reference frame on your right shoulder. That's too funny.
That was hilarious.
How can you change something and not leave? Or how can you leave something and not change? Can somebody explain that to me?
Yeah, and how is it eventually possible that such a silly argument could turn out to be usable for so many references, and then suddenly the pants become interesting.
Yeah,
But you got to
about the
admit,
pants,
you got to
bruh.
admit,
You just
you
stuck
got to
on the
admit it's
pants. I got
coming from a
pants in the
blind
brain. You
sniper.
got just stuck on the pants.
Sorry for bringing that back up.
No, but
Put them in the
I
washing machine, dude. It's a crap argument. They're dirty. Put them in the washing machine.
I mean,
Well,
Virus, you
you
get
can't leave them
the
behind in
reasoning
order to put
behind.
them in the washing machine. You got to take them to the washing machine. Or do you just change your pants at the washing machine?
Oh my God, you're defending this? You can't change something and not
No,
leave.
I'm talking to what Arwen just said.
Shut up.
No, we were talking about pants now. Sorry.
What in the world? Arwen, what compel?
QE,
When I start talking,
QE, were you the one that brought me back to this chat? I wasn't even in the room. Are you the one that brought me here?
Oh my God, shut up. I'm dealing with Arwen right now, just for a moment. I need to understand this. When I start talking, what compels you to speak?
I was trying to help you get a misunderstanding out of the way.
Every time I open up, I always hear you in the back. Why the fuck is that? I just want to know.
I don't know. Maybe we.
I don't know either.
Maybe we have similar timing as to when we want to speak about
I'll
something.
leave him off mute. Just go ahead, Arwen.
I gave you an answer. You asked me a question. Maybe it is because us two have similar timing in when we want to comment on something.
You're both in the same reference frame.
Right.
Go ahead, Arwen. The floor is yours. No one's speaking. Go ahead.
I already made my points.
Till I start talking, right? And then you'll have another one. For fuck's sake.
No swearing, please.
Hey, Akun Virus, I was the one that moved you up. Sorry about that.
Don't apologize to him. We want to figure this out. How can you change something and not leave? Or how can you leave something and not change? Please explain.
Because change and leave were two different things. You don't even have to change something to leave something. You can just leave something without changing it. But you can also
that's
change
great.
something and still carry that thing
amazing.
around with you. It's a
So
difference.
you can
How
change
do you
your
not know
pants.
this, QE?
Leave them. You can change your pants and not leave them.
He's fucking retarded.
So you don't. So where do you change your pants? Do you change your pants in front of the laundromat? Do you change your pants in front of the washing machine?
Okay. Here's the question. How can you change your pants and not leave your pants?
I'm answering you before you muted me. You can, what do you change your pants at the laundromat? Do you not carry your pants to the dirty clothes hamper? Do you not carry your
You
pants to the
dumbass.
washing machine?
How can you change your pants and not leave them?
Are you stupid or deaf? Because I'm explaining it to you.
I don't think you're understanding his question. Come on, man. Listen to what he's saying.
Come on, QE, you're smarter than this. I mean, I even think you're smarter than this. You can take your pants off, put on a different pair of pants, and then carry those pants with you to the laundromat. Carry those
So how
pants with
does
you to the
that
washing
correlate
machine.
with reference frames? You were
Hold on a
trying to-
second. Ken. I'm not talking about
No,
that.
he-
How can you change your pants? That means pull your legs out of your pants and not leave them.
You pull your pants,
Whether
you pull your
you're in
pants
the
off,
laundromat,
take them off,
whether
put on
you're in
another pair of
Igloo,
pants, grab those pants you
whether
just took
you're
off, and take them to the washing
Siberia,
machine.
whether you're in...
That is an example of changing pants and not leaving them behind. What the hell, QE?
How can you're frigging doofus moron of epic proportions? How can you change your pants? That means you pull your legs out of the pants. How can you do that and not leave them?
You have been chewing on way too many erasers, bruh. Stop eating the erasers.
Oh, God, shut up. All All right, we can move on.
I
Thank
think
you.
this is just a stupid analogy. That's what it is.
Well, I want him to tie it to the 2 reference frames, and he hasn't done so.
Well, instead of that, can we ask him if he understands Coriolis effect, and if so, can he detail it? Thank you.
I don't think the analogy is very effective too.
No.
Yeah, I thought I
It's
squashed that when I
stupid.
asked him if you can throw a reference frame over your shoulder and walk away with it. So I thought we
That's the
squashed that already.
Yeah, that's what I
Why are we
want him
still
to
here?
answer you. I want him to answer you, Chocolate. You're not on mute. You're not blocked. Come on, answer Chocolate's question.
And on that note,
Are you sure he's not on mute?
Akun Virus, didn't you say when someone calls you out, you will respond? So what's happening? Are you losing your? Was that a lie or what?
Was muted. I couldn't speak.
Right.
Because
I can hear
somebody
you. Go
likes
ahead.
to
Answer
mute people.
Chocolate's question. No one interrupt.
Okay. Let's go.
What's the question? Because if I'm muted, I can't hear y'all either. So what's the question?
What?
Okay,
right,
hang on.
look,
Just Chocolate and Blind Sniper.
Yeah,
He may be
virus.
experiencing some connection issues. Okay, YouTube had the live stream had some issues as
Just
well.
Chocolate and Blind Sniper, please.
Yeah,
What's
I
up, Chocolate?
think the whole purpose of your analogy was to try to say that you can change a reference frame and not leave it, or leave a reference frame
No,
and
the
not
whole
change it.
purpose of the analogy was show there's a difference between change and leave. That's it. You're feeding too much into it.
Yeah, but you're the one who brought the analogy in regard to reference
Exactly.
frame.
That's the
So
reason I could tell
my
you what the
question,
analogy
yeah.
meant.
So
The analogy
so
meant there's a difference between change
every time you
and
tried
leave.
to defend your analogy, you said, "Yeah, I could just throw the pants over my shoulder and walk away." What I'm asking you is,
You can't
can you
do
once
that
you
with a reference
leave
frame.
or change a reference frame, can you throw the reference frame you just
You
changed or
can't
left
do that
over
with
your
a
shoulder
reference
and walk
frame. I
away with
just
it?
explained that to you. You can't do that with the reference frame.
He rumpushed you the whole time, Chocolate. He didn't listen to a word.
Blind Sniper,
You
you were
can't
talking the whole
do
time
that
that
with a
Chocolate
reference
was
frame.
asking the question.
Jesus.
King of Kings.
Let's
That's
change
enough for
topic.
him. That's enough for him. So he's finished. Let's see who else we got in here.
It's the same every time. Either they all overrumpus each other and us continually, or they just shut up. Don't say anything.
Is Nathan back?
Hang on 1 second. Chocolate had him by the pants, and he ran away by rumpusing and over talking him.
Yep.
Nothing's done. I got it.
Yeah, but he was so embarrassed he had to overtalk Chocolate. It was a very good question, Chocolate.
Yeah,
How do
it
you throw a
was.
second reference frame on your shoulder?
Right. To point out the analogy is kind of stupid. You can't really compare the two with spinning reference frames in Coriolis effect and all that. It's just, it's not effective.
Exactly. So do not bring up analogies and examples that you don't want us to throw back at you when the analogy or example doesn't fit the situation we're talking about. Now you're wondering why we're talking about your pants. Because you brought it up. Nobody wants to talk about your damn
Why are you
pants.
talking about my pants?
Why do you think
Why did
when Brenda
anybody
comes
ask
here,
him to
we talk
detail
about shoes?
Coriolis?
Yeah.
Nobody
It's
cares
like
about
you're showing
Brenda's
up.
shoe, right? Nobody cares about Brenda's shoe,
Hey,
but
nobody
if we
asked him
bring
if
it
his
up.
pants is rotating,
All right.
and we forgot to
I
ask him
guess
if
not.
his
Let me
pants
give
is
an
rotating.
effective analogy.
Anon,
to the
Anon,
situation.
hold on,
hang on,
guys,
Arwen.
guys. What is it, Anon? Chocolate was in the middle of a sentence, and you've just decided you're just going to talk right through him.
I just asked if the pants was rotating.
Depends if it was bell bottoms.
Man. Can I make an effective analogy? Can I make an effective analogy for a moment? Okay, so Blind Sniper, it's like you just came walking into our party and then dropped your pants, and now you're complaining about why everybody's talking about your pants.
Wow.
Like I was saying, right? These examples that you guys bring up, like again with Brenda, when she shows up here, we talk about shoes. Is it because anybody cares about Brenda's shoes? Absolutely not. But she suggested that a shoe can not only be a natural phenomenon, but a hypothesis this is a shoe. And we're never going to stop bringing that up because it's just hilarious. So, yeah, that's your guys' bad who want to bring up ridiculous examples, talking about leaving your pants, changing your pants. That's you guys. So enjoy. I'm done now.
Shout out to Bill G in chat said that the globe arguments are slacking off.
Akumu virus is mentally challenged. I missed the first show. Did anything interesting happen today?
No.
Yeah, some guy came to a party, dropped his
All right,
reference frame, and showed us another one.
You should be a comic man.
I have trouble standing up.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
This never ends, Doc. Quick-witted.
Yeah.
I have an analogy.
Anybody else who doesn't want to talk about shoes and pants and an entire wardrobe? Like,
Hey, which wardrobe?
Chocolate, are you telling them to come out of the closet?
I'm seeing this all tie in now. Is this going back to Narnia, to the wardrobe?
exactly.
I get it. It's all referencing to the wardrobe because of the clothing pieces. I understand now.
This is a funny show.
Well, they have to resort to the closet because it's the last place they can hang on to.
Is Nathan back, lads? Hello? Can you hear me?
We hear you. I don't know. I think Nathan might be busy in the back. I'm not sure.
All right.
So QE, when you asked that question, he never understood your question because he wasn't listening.
Yeah. Ask what question?
When you change your pants, how do you not leave them?
I don't know. This is so stupid, right? If anyone's on the fence that's listening to the Globe defenders and hears the absolute inanity coming out of their mouths, just sit back and listen, folks. This is the tip of the iceberg.
I'm afraid I agree with you. It's probably gonna get a lot worse before it gets better.
For them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think humanity will pull through this.
You're optimist.
I see it really like almost the whole of humanity is being subjected by massive amounts of information, and just like an individual in their lifetime, as they grow up being exposed to certain information, they might not all be able to handle it. So it's like there's a collective, well, yeah, transition going on from teenage time, culturally, you could say, perhaps, as the industrial age with most of the growth, most of the physical changes. And now we're going into like spiritual adulthood. And because of the information age, because of the information everywhere, and that'll bring with it the problems, the resistance against growing up. And I think that is literally the symptoms that we're dealing with in Ballers and others.
Hey, blind sniper, you need to be institutionalized, son. You calling other people dumb when you say that when you change pants, you don't leave them, is the epitome, the epitome of utter bollocks. You need to be horse tranquilized, right? Rubber roomed, then force lobotomized. It's just as simple as that, son. I mean, the friggin' hubris that it takes for such a Dunning-Kruger insane. This is borderline insanity, right? My word, John in Discord says that he can. You think that you know how they prove gravity? Are you? Yeah, you're in this hangout. Can you talk? Great
Can you
name,
hear
by
me?
the way. John, can you speak? Radio check.
Radio check. Radio check.
Yep. Hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
I think the main way they do it is it's like you take and say there's a lateral displacement force, and they fire an arrow and say, look at the flight of the arrow. That proves that there's a force acting on the arrow. They do the same thing when they pick shit up and drop it.
Right. Newtonian presupposition, basically.
Just completely forget about the fact that I got a bow and I just fired the arrow. You know, just pay attention to the flight of the arrow and forget all that other shit.
So what are they saying about the flight of the arrow while they ignore that you caused it?
Yeah, that's pretty much what they do with gravity. They'll do it every time. It's almost sickening.
No, my question was, what are they saying the arrow is doing as it goes through those different latitudes, even though you fired it and were the cause?
I think you're mixing or confusing the scientific evidence for gravity with proof of rotation. I'm just saying how they think they prove gravity by saying it's a force. I'm not talking about
No,
Coriolis.
I'm talking about your arrow example.
Right, yeah, the example is their proof of gravity is the same as if I said there was a bilateral displacement force that after I fire the arrow, just forget that part and just say, look, the arrow is moving laterally, therefore there's a force. That's pretty much basically what they do with gravity.
Yep. Sounds about right.
I
It's
see.
It's a Newtonian approach.
Yes, I completely agree. It's Newtonian.
Right.
So you were contrasting the two.
I'm not fully sure what I'm doing anymore.
I see what he's saying. He's basically saying, like, if he were to say, wow, look at this arrow fly through the air, you know, look at the forces acting on it, while forgetting that he's the one who put it in the bow and shot it. It's the same thing as when people say, oh, look, I picked this up and I drop it. Why did it fall? Because of gravity. Do I have that right?
Exactly. That's
Perfect.
That's what they do every time, though.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree.
Isn't
It's
the
the same
wind,
crap.
chocolate? But isn't the wind pushing against the tip of the arrow also creating a force?
Did the
Am I
wind
wrong in
fire
that?
the arrow?
No. What I'm saying is, if you shoot an arrow, it's hitting the surface area of a wind or air molecule. Isn't that creating a force as well?
Yeah,
Did you say when you shoot an arrow?
No,
describing
that's not
friction.
what I'm saying.
That's air friction. What
Yeah,
you're
but
describing, right?
It's pressure, right? But that's pressure, right?
Yeah, but that you're missing the example he used. What he's trying to say is it's the equivalent of him saying, look at this arrow that's flying through the air, right? Forgetting to tell you he's the one who put that arrow in a bow and shot it. It's the same thing as going somewhere and saying, hey, look, I pick up a pen, I drop it, but it fell because of gravity. Forgetting to tell the person you picked it up and you dropped it. Get it?
Yeah. I don't know. This is
And then
our
you
old
apply-
style response to all that, but I think, yeah, there is relative density theory now, and it's very extensive. So basically, all these elements that are part of the claim of gravity, including an arrow being fired and then going back down again, can all be explained in detail as to what is going on concerning relative density.
Can we get the guy who thinks that the friction is equal to the force of someone firing the arrow in the first place?
But so you can't bring up firing the arrow in the first place. You just got to say that there's a force acting upon it. And then you got the gravity argument that they use.
Yeah, but the guy that was saying isn't a force acting on the arrowhead is conflating that with friction that was caused by another force, the person who shot the arrow. If the person never shot the arrow, would there be that friction if the arrow's just sitting down?
They don't have a gravity explanation. Gravity doesn't exist. It's like invisible three-toed gnomes. Is Nathan around? I want to share my screen. We got another brain surgeon in the Discord chat, but I think I'm going to have to continue to talk. Do you guys see what I'm pointing at right here? His diagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is this in retardia. This is a level surface, the one that's curving, right? So this is what we got. Let me give credit where credit is due. This is cosmonaut right here. Everyone see him right here? Yeah. This is this brain surgeon right here. He's calling that a level surface. Can you believe?
I think he had a special brownie before he made that.
Yeah. This curved line is a level surface, right? So that's all I got.
Can someone
There you
also
go,
share this on the Discord chat, please?
Clown.
I've done up that thing for you if you want to see it, but I don't want to go share on the screen unless Nathan is. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't be able to.
Yeah, that's what Xanix's been pushing over the last few weeks, what you were showing there, John. The new level surface.
The new level surface. The new level curved, the new and improved curved level surface. Oh my god.
It's newspeak.
So they're saying is 90 degrees closer, but it's 94 degrees high. What?
Well, based on today, you can just take that plumb line and throw it over your shoulder.
Oh wow, this is
Yep.
just ridiculous.
I've seen this elsewhere too. They will just some will just try to attack the definition, and it seems to be so they can waste time and go back and forth.
Yeah, they're getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are
Meaning
just
is that
trying to waste time because people who can think and have more than few brain cells will know that that's just stupid. But because they all feel like they live on a ball, they have the backing to tell us that level is now curved.
Well, isn't that the same thing that Nathan said about the clock tower? I just see a clock tower. But what are they saying? They go to the math, not what they see, but the math, the false science, and say, no, that's looming over a curve.
Okay, we have a new contender. I'm sharing my screen again. I'll have to continue to talk. Sorry about that, guys, but this is the new contender to the last diagram. Level, but not flat, and flat, but not level. I think this takes the cake. I don't know. Should we run a poll between the last pick and this one? I don't know. There you go.
Can I make an argument?
That's a tough one.
No, I don't see anything really wrong with that one. No, if you just scale down that could be ridges on a level surface. It's just not perfectly flat. So Yeah, but it's getting pedantic at this point.
That you think this is pedantic, level, but not flat? You think this line's level? Right here.
If you continuate the pattern, yes.
That's not level.
No.
It is a consistent pattern, right? So it
But
is.
it's not level, Arwen.
No, the orientation.
Arwen, are you falling for the banana in the tailpipe? Don't fall for the banana in the
It's the
tailpipe.
orientation.
Arwen, that's not
Chocolate.
level.
Chocolate. You know how to dole out those banana lines.
I just put it in a context where it was like ridges on the surface. It's not perfectly flat.
It's not flat at all, Arwen.
I went to my local bookmakers today and I asked them if I could put a bet on that water level is horizontal. Do you know what they said?
What did he say?
What did they say?
He said, well, I asked the girl, like, and she's typing it, going, well, see what water level is what? Horizontal. Oh, what does that mean? And I went, well, like, you know, like you level a shelf and you use a level. I went, that's horizontal, isn't it? She went, oh yeah. Carried on typing it. And then she went, oh, he's replying. What's she say? Oh, he says you're taking the piss. So they won't take that bet on because it's a ridiculous bet. The bookmakers won't touch that because they know they're not going to make any money out of it. And yet people tell you it bends. Or only people on Discord though, and Twitter, and
well,
people in the real world know that
the world.
level is horizontal.
Yeah, you're right, man.
What's the
Could I
definition of
try
level
arguing?
in the simplest terms?
Everyone I've looked at, it's always in relationship to the horizon, horizontal. That's what level means.
No.
Another one?
No?
Water. The water level dictates the horizontal. I'll put that out there. Statement.
Okay, if you take one end of a line and you take the other end of the line, would they have to be the same for it to be level?
A line. It would have to be horizontal
Yes.
for it in order for it to be level.
Yeah, exactly. So, QE, put that picture back up from Zanuck.
Yeah, I know which one it is. The wibbly wobbly one.
Yeah, exactly. So how could that be level?
It's not. It's Xanax. He says he teaches
Wibbly
that.
wobbly
He
level.
brought that out as an example of something he teaches to the children that come to his museum. His words.
Can I argue special relativity for the
It'll be quick. It'll be quick. So you want to argue special relativity, right? All right. Is that a scientific theory?
Well, if you're going to kill it quick, then never mind.
No, let's hear it.
Because like special relativity, they're pretty much calling
Special ed.
Rise the short bus.
You cut out.
Wasn't special relativity only applicable to non-Earth based regions? Or did I get that wrong?
yeah, they say in special relativity is no difference from you falling to the ground as if the Earth is rising up to meet you. That's where they get that whole bullshit flat Earth in a fucking space shooting straight up stupid.
Yeah, I realized that when I heard Brian Cox say that when he described special relativity in that way, I was like, well, that sounds very much like flat Earth society nonsense. So Brian Cox, one of the heliocentric priests, is out here pushing that crap. So, right.
It's funny. On the Discord a while back, they always talk about the gravitational be the same as centrifugal force, and how Zanuck always used the idea of a bucket spinning over your head. And I said, the way you're describing that sounds like the Flat Earth Society. So I guess you're agreeing with them. Is that what you're saying? Of course, they go, well, yeah, that does make sense. That's why what they said makes sense, and at least they're thinking about it. Thought that was funny.
Paul, go to that bucket example Zanuck is saying. What is he saying is in that bucket, and if it's spinning around, what's happening?
Well, he's saying that's how you can actually get a pressure differential and pressure inside of a bucket, even inside of a vacuum with gas pressure. Because if you put gas in a bucket and spin it over your head, you can actually simulate what gravity's doing.
Is that a closed bucket or an open top bucket?
Oh, yeah, I know. Trust me, we already went down this road. So, but yeah, he didn't want to go down that road when I started talking about the open and closed bucket, trying to get it started to begin with.
If he's spinning a bucket, even with an open top, does it not have a bottom and sides?
It would contain the gas.
Well, see,
I agree.
That's where in special relativity, they would say that flat area is sort of like the map that Arwen presents, and no matter where you stand, you're in the center of it, and the Earth is just flattened out around you. It's really crazy when you start looking at the nuts and bolts of it.
Mm-hmm.
How does special relativity affect a level horizontal line? Can it be anything else other than a level horizontal line?
Well, no, they're saying it's level and horizontal in special relativity. It's saying that's why we see what we do. It's saying that the globe that we live upon has been squashed out into pretty much wherever you're standing, you're in the center of it. That's how they sell their bullshit Coriolis and all that other crap. But
right, but
people that were too smart for them to.
But you're only on one part of a sphere, so it's not a horizontal line, it's a sphere.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you're arguing it from like reality. We're not working on the what is level right now when you talk about special relativity. That's just not it.
Well, this is the road I wanted to go down. So relativity only works when there's an absence of objective truth.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If you get rid of if you make everything subjective, I mean, if you look at the tensor equations in the way it's set up, it's all based on a single observer. You can never have more than two observers, or it falls apart.
Just like general relativity, you can't have more than two or more masses. We have another contestant in Discord, horizontal level literalist. He says, a sheet of glass can be flat, but not horizontal. So, horizontal level literalist, please explain. You're off mute. You're good to go.
What? Flat's a surface, isn't it? That's not horizontal. It doesn't have to be
horizontal. Is this
horizontal
level literalist?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Flat implies directionality, though, too. So
hold on a second.
You're talking about a slant.
Level literalist. Let him speak, please.
Flat's just a surface, isn't it? It doesn't have to be horizontal to be flat. I never use the word flat. If I'm talking about the word level and horizontal, I would say level is horizontal, but a level surface would be on a horizontal plane. The plane is the flat part, isn't it?
Yeah, but how do you define level?
How do I define level?
Now, what is the definition of level? Sorry about that.
It would be horizontal. It's a level. The tool is a device or mechanism for establishing a horizontal line. So the word level, horizontal,
we're not
sort
talking
of
about nouns. We're talking about adjectives, descriptors. So level, having no part higher than another, having a flat or even surface, right?
Yeah, horizontal though.
Right.
That's just a descriptor of the horizontal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's flat. The level is flat.
Yeah, horizontal plane.
Yeah, so level is flat. Level equals flat.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
a
but
pane of
flat
glass
doesn't
can be
equal
flat,
level,
but
does
be
it?
vertical.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
No,
Well, you're tilting it. You're tilting it at that point.
Hold on.
It doesn't mean it's not flat.
The surface can be smooth, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's two different things. Having no part higher than another, having a flat or even surface, right? This is Red's rhetoric's tilted shelf nonsense, right?
Not me. Definitely not me. I'm fighting for the horizontal level.
No, I know you are, Bev. I got
Yeah.
I got your back. Yep.
There's no curve here. Tell you that. No curves.
No, but what he's saying is this is the nonsense that Red Reddit was trying to do, where he would tilt a shelf and call that level.
It's not though.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. The shelf may still be flat, but if it has to be on the horizontal in order to be level.
Right.
Say that one more time.
The shelf has to be on the horizontal in order for it to be level.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But it could still be a flat shelf.
Can you define horizontal? Define that, please.
I would say the water level defines the horizontal.
Not rising or falling or higher on one side, but even in all directions, horizontal or flat, from Cambridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll not find one mention of a curve with the word level. It doesn't. It's straight horizontal. I've been going over this for 6 months with these fools. They call me child abuser because I've taught my son that level is horizontal.
So, John, go back to your original photo and explain how that circle is horizontal. Or can the Blowers explain how that globe is horizontal, or that circle is?
Yeah, I don't have it anymore.
Can
Cosmonaut's got one. A good one. He's put in Discord.
Can we stress that a little bit, level. Bev? The fact that you were being called names like that by particular ballers because you were teaching your kids that like water is level.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I don't know. There's nothing else you can say. That's the levels they go
because
to.
I just want to point out, because this is the stage of ridiculousness that we've reached. Right?
So I've got it up on screen, a new one. You see it? I've got a new one on screen. So
this is from that website that we found.
You got to keep talking, Paul, or no one's going to see it.
Oh, I mean, I got it on the screen. So I'm just saying so there's a contradiction here. So they're saying a curve is flat, or wait a minute. So a flat is curved, but a level is flat. I mean, which is it? I mean, you can't. If flat equals level, then this is contradictory, right? According to the definition of level and horizontal. We have contradictory statements going on here.
Yeah,
am I right or am I
they've
wrong?
got you arguing about
you
stupid
just
stuff.
have to read it. It says the surface of water is level, and then they show curved, and then they show curved.
I know, but level means flat or horizontal, but it's contradictory.
Yeah, right. They started off saying flat and level can mean approximately the same thing, but in the context of science and engineering, they are different. Flat describes a planar surface, Level means at the same height or perpendicular to the direction of Earth's gravity. What the hell is... Oh my god.
Oops.
Part of where they're getting that, part of where they're getting that carry on from, or while they're using it from, is in construction, vertical can be level too. If you're building a wall,
no, it can't.
Vertical, yeah, but it's called level in construction.
Nobody uses vertical as level. They don't do that.
What don't they do?
It's not horizontal.
Yeah, but if you're building a wall and you're using a spirit level, then for that wall to be level, it has to be level vertically and level horizontally in construction.
No, there's no.
Yeah, but you don't see a curved wall like this Earth, and you don't see it like Zanek's picture with the wave.
No, there's never that. That would not be level.
But that's what they're saying it is.
Show me the construction worker who is measuring level perpendicular to the direction of Earth's conceptual medium bending.
Is that plumb? Is that wall plumb? No, nobody would say is that wall level. They'd be talking about the courses of the brickwork. Is that level? You wouldn't say
I worked
like
in construction for a long time, and I often worked with our building walls and putting up concrete and stuff, and they talk about the level vertical.
There's some pumpkin bread. Look,
it's a wall.
Look, pumpkin bread.
Paul, you're mute yourself.
Paul, go on mute.
Sorry.
Most people.
Sorry.
You guys can have some.
Most people would call that wall crooked or straight if it wasn't done by a level tool. They say, "Oh, that wall looks crooked." Look, I hung some wallpaper in my day, and I could tell you right now, they don't make walls straight up and down anymore. There were so many inconsistencies, and depending on the pattern on the wallpaper, it would show up or hide. So we would have to do a lot of prep work, fill in the gaps, the valleys on the wall, because the drywall was, for some reason, not flat surface enough, as they put it up vertically, that is. So you don't walk into a house and say, "Oh, that wall
you wouldn't use
is
level.
You walk into a house and say that wall is straight or that wall looks crooked. You never use it for vertical.
I might say but the terminology is in construction. When they speak about it, they talk about it whether it's level.
That's what I'm saying.
You say they. I've never heard them do that.
Sorry.
I've worked in construction, and I'll tell you now, I've never heard them or anybody say that vertical is level.
No, not that vertical is level, but for let's say a wall or the side of a building to be level in construction terms, it has to be level vertically and horizontally, and in accordance with a spirit level.
Horizontal is the level. The vertical's plumb.
Well, yeah, but we're living in different countries, so I'm only going by what I heard where I worked and the way the lingo they use when they're using, because the spirit level shows horizontal, will show horizontal and vertical.
There was a guy.
The bubble's just orientated differently in the spirit level, isn't it?
There was a guy in Discord who lays cement and concrete, and I tried to get this understood between him and I. The words got all mixed up into where they're saying I'm calling what they're saying. I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. So his point was, if he's doing a walkway away from the house, it's 1 inch, in this case, let's just use 1 inch, 1 inch lower at the bottom, at the end of the walkway, and higher as it meets the house. But the walkway is flat. And I said, yeah, but it's tilted. You put a drop at the bottom so that the water landing on it could go away from the house. So you can't call that level. And so this is where it gets all mixed up, because what he's doing is the orientation is so that the water could go away from the house. So you tilt it. But he's calling that what? Flat.
And with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Again, a massive thank you to all of today's Discord and G Plus panels for making this live and after show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!